Hi, Jeff Cotrupe of Stratecast, a division of Frost & Sullivan. We're here at IBM Pulse 2011, and I'm joined here, and thanks for taking a minute or two with us, Dean Verhaeghe of IBM. A big focus for us is different network management and systems management strategies, and we're always looking at what companies are doing or not doing on that score. And so the theme kind of is inadequate approaches. You know, we talk to companies every day who are having all sorts of challenges, and part of the challenges are maybe a little bit self-inflicted because of the tool sets they're using, command line interface, some of the free software, some software that may let them monitor and not really manage. So I'd like you to, if you would, to walk us through some of those things that they're doing and some of the impacts that's having on their businesses.
Okay, you mentioned, Jeff, a couple of the more popular approaches that I see.
Yeah.
All right, let's download some freeware from the web.
Yep.
Try it, see how it works, play with it for a while.
Right.
You know, direct command line interfaces to products.
Right.
One of the better ones is walking around with a USB key from server to update their firmware. Right?
Wow. That's sort of the modern day version of the sneaker net.
Yeah,
in a way, huh?
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. USB key, though.
USB key net. Unbelievable.
Right.
So, you know, and so one of the things that we're talking about is how to provide maybe a more integrated approach or some better approaches to that kind of thing.
Right.
And maybe you could help sort of walk people through some of the approaches that you're seeing out there that some people are trying and some of the things IBM is maybe providing in that regard.
Actually, I've seen a number of different sessions this week, right, where customers are talking about the approaches that they've taken by implementing a common piece of software that allows them to look across the different servers they have in their environment, monitor compliance. So if they have policies around firmware levels for the different pieces of hardware that they have, leveraging the tools to see indicators of pending failures.
Right.
Right. As their infrastructures, you know, it's very important that their infrastructures are healthy. And if they see something going wrong, be able to move workloads to maintain the service to the business, right? So there's a, you know, common pieces of software is a very typical approach.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm very much in favor of, and have been for many years, both in the enterprise side and in carrier environments, about sort of that degrading performance conditions and not waiting for something to become a failure or an outage.
It's too late then.
More, yeah, right,
it's
exactly
too late at
right.
that point.
That's true. Let me ask you then specifically then to walk through some of what, because systems director is, we're spending a time talking about a lot of that this week.
Sure.
Maybe walk us through some of the ways that, and we've talked about some of the different versions and some of the different modules and things that are part of it.
Sure.
But at sort of at the heart of it, what is systems director doing that's addressing these kinds of things we've just been discussing?
Now, one of the key benefits for director is to be able to discover the systems that are in the environment.
Yeah.
Right. Ironically enough, sometimes we don't know what's out there actually.
Right.
And once we find it, take an inventory of, you know, what are all the components that sit on that particular device. Be able to understand what levels they're at in terms of firmware, push out updates, or, you know, within a policy if they have them established, and then be able to monitor you know, the health of the infrastructure. So if we're seeing early signs of a failure, right, be able to identify that, move workloads, and you know, make sure that the infrastructure stays up and the applications and the service they're delivering to the customers are maintained, and you know, they've got continuity of service for their customers.
Well, I appreciate that. So it takes you a long way from the piece part management and let's do it because it's free to sort of a more integrated, holistic, you know, coherent network.
Yeah, and the reality is the environments are getting more complex. There's more servers being introduced. There's the virtualized server layer.
Yeah.
And so the, you know, the role of the administrator is being expanded, and it's very challenging for them to keep up.
And wouldn't you say too that another thing, and I'll just preface this a little bit, is that systems have been acquired along the way for a lot of different reasons, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then what happens is every time there's a new version of either software or hardware that comes out from all the different manufacturers, there you go again.
Right.
And now there's your next challenge that you didn't even create, and you've got to face it.
That's right.
A lot of that going on out there.
That's right, and they have a variety of different platforms from us, right? They've
yes.
got X and Power and Z.
Right.
And being able to look at all of those holistically and manage them as a unit is very important, very makes them very efficient at,
Right.
at managing the underlying systems.
Well, I appreciate this. This has been a great talk, and I appreciate you taking the time. It's a busy week. And so once again, Jeff Cotrupe, Stratecast, a division of Frost & Sullivan. We're here at IBM Pulse 2011. Dean Verhaeghe, thanks so much for taking a few moments to speak with us.
Sure,
and
my
have
pleasure.
a great rest of the week, all right?
My pleasure.
All right, you
Thanks.
take care.